Woo-hoo! Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Play It Painted Live simulcast on Periscope. Once again, we are going to be painting some Helldorado terrain. So, I figured why not just turn the camera on? We're going to do a little bit of painting tonight. It's going to be real simple stuff, but it's going to be the Games and Gears Hell terrain that I'll be working on. So you can see here's some of it right here. Just started working on this stuff, and it is time to actually dry brush the next layer. So instead of airbrushing all this stuff, which actually would be pretty quick, whoa, man, okay, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get the camera to lock on here. Maybe a little more. That's not quite what I want, is it? It is. It looks great on Periscope. It doesn't look so good on YouTube right now. So apologize for that. Let's just get these kinks out of the way, and hopefully we can get to the painting. So there we go. All right. So that looks quite a bit better. My spot's about the same. So here's like one of the altars, and the goal here is I want these to look kind of like old, tattered flesh. So, I'm going to paint the next color that's going to go down is going to be kind of like a skin type color. So let's put this down. And I'm using a big old bucket for my palette, not what I normally use. So I'm going to put a healthy amount of the next color paint down. And we're going to put some water down. Okay, and then that brush on screen there is my big old dry brush. So we're gonna dry brush these down. So I'm just doing some like last minute prep, some painting on this Helldorado terrain. I don't know if I'm actually gonna use it tomorrow, but for sure I'm planning on using it probably for Helldorado battle reports and Frostgrave. So that's the plan here. So I'm gonna wipe off all that paint, and now we're just gonna give this light dry brush there along. So I'm going real light. I don't want to take away that brown, but I want to incorporate another layer of color here. So that's why this is going down. Okay. So there we go. So this is gonna, you can see I'm just going real light, just letting the brush do its thing. Okay. So I got a bunch of pieces to do. So this is gonna look somewhat monotonous because I have 4 of each type of piece. So we're gonna do that. And then, I mean, this is how simple it's gonna be. I'm just gonna dry brush these layers on, and then I'm gonna come back and hit it with an airbrush to do some lighting effects to make this stuff look more like hell terrain. Okay, there we go. You can see how fast these pieces are just going. Oh, I'm gonna check comments. Saw a comment pop in. Hey, what's up, Tori? So yeah, so painting up some terrain for Helldorado or Frostgrave or both, or Anima, or what else do I play? Wrath of Kings? Sure, Wrath of Kings too. I mean, it's just fantasy terrain basically. Most appropriate for Helldorado though. These are like skull altars I'm working on, and then there's skull walls and these kind of Necronomicon type stuff. There we go. So you can see just I mean, it doesn't take much at all. So it's just going to be a couple of layers dry brushed like this. I'll go up in color, and we'll start to see more of this detail start to pop. They're really nice resin pieces. The only problem I have with resin terrain is you really have to protect it to keep it looking good. Something that I'm pretty bad at because I tend to abuse my terrain quite a bit. It's cool looking stuff though. I was going to try to paint up a new officer for my Lost, but I don't know. I kind of lost time tonight. So I started these up, might as well finish them and just go in with what we've got tomorrow. These are, so you can see, these are skull dividers here. Now, for those of you who have never seen like miniature painting and stuff, there's no way I'm going to paint up all of these skulls individually. I'm just going to do this, paint it black, and do this number. And you can see all this skull detail starting to show up, just haphazardly running this brush over the top. That's the beauty of dry brushing. That's why it's such a taught technique to everybody, because it's a quick way to get stuff to look correct, or look good, I should say. Not correct, good. Okay, so you can see, there we go. All right, I'm gonna keep these on the table. And again, there's 4 of these, so that's what we're gonna do. I was gonna have some music on tonight. I mean, this is pretty monotonous stuff, but I figured, why not just turn on the camera? YouTube is delayed. I guess that's the advantage to watching this on Periscope, so you actually get to see it. It's probably like a 90-second delay on YouTube, right? See how quickly this is gonna go. But there's so much detail on these that these things paint themselves. You just, I'm just doing the easiest technique known ever, the most laziest technique. And this is really how good terrain, good purchase terrain should allow you to do stuff like this. You shouldn't have to freehand and now, don't get me wrong, there's some really avid terrain painters that love doing that kind of stuff. But I would think for top dollar stuff, it should look great whether or not you do a quick dry brush like I'm doing, or if you end up doing a bunch of more advanced techniques on it. Actually, I should be right here, apparently. That's the center screen for both. Okay, there we go. Now let's continue with the walls. So there's some really cool pieces here to this terrain. I think I need to come in and, yeah, I need a little more solid there. So let me reload the brush. So I'm just using cheap craft paint to do this. I'm not using my nice miniature paint. But craft paint, depending on the color, is still pretty quality stuff. All right, so here we go. So I just want to get little highlights. Okay, I don't need it to be uniform. In fact, you kind of don't want it to be for pieces like this. You don't want it to be uniform. See that streaking there? That means I have too much paint on. Your dry brush shouldn't look like that unless that's the specific look that you're going for. It shouldn't be that streaky. I've got too much on here, but luckily this is the underside, so I'm not that worried about it. It still looks kind of cool, but anyway. Let me show you an example. This is one divider wall. So it actually comes in 3 pieces. Here's one of the other pieces right here. So you can see I'm just going to highlight it, right? It looks pretty cool. It looks like kind of like brass, really. It's more of a brass color. I'm not trying to, again, I'm not trying to highlight, I'm not trying to get every bit of this surface, just enough to make it look like there's light being thrown around on it. Okay, so there we go. There's the next part of it, and I'll show you guys the whole thing assembled, because that's part 2 of 3, and here's the third piece. I'm just gonna one thought is to paint this like an eye, but I don't think so. I think it'll look cool if I just do like a glowy effect on it. Okay, and this is like a door to another, it's like a portal right there. So check it out. So see how it has this slot here? What you do, you take your ceiling piece there, you pop that in there, and see those, oh, let me try to get on YouTube too. See these pegs? You have this piece here that goes like that, and it just forms up a corner like that. That's what you get. Okay, so you get a little corner type structure there. And what's cool is you don't have to glue it. I mean, if I can store this stuff flat and then just set it up, and it's totally fine that way. Okay, so let's break out the next part of this. 3 pieces. This is a lot of terrain, actually. And we're just going to paint until I get too tired. Or too bored, because this is all really, really monotonous painting. Okay. But it does look really cool. Just, that's all you're doing. All I'm doing is just letting the detail of the model speak for itself. It's just so easy to do this. It's just a matter of sitting down and doing it. And you could, I was thinking like I could totally airbrush this stuff, but I don't think it would look as good, honestly. I think this stuff looks way better. Just good old-fashioned dry brush and highlight. And then I'll use the airbrush for lighting effects, like maybe the eyes of this weird face, like this demon face right here. Might look cool. See how the skull there? How many people are going tomorrow? Not many. I don't think there's going to be very many people. I think conservatively we'll probably be around 6 people or so. So probably around 3 tables worth of terrain. I'm going to bring at least enough for that. I know Gareth will have terrain, and Corey will probably have terrain too. But this stuff looks awesome, so let's paint it. I'm entirely too cramped on my little desk when I work on terrain. That's why I rarely work on terrain on my desk. I set up a separate table and work on it on a table. But hey, working on a desk tonight. Let's turn on the camera. See who wants to watch me dry brush for an hour. It's actually going to go a lot faster than that, though. It's just a lot. Oh, that was my airbrush. My airbrush is trying to commit suicide. I think it feels rejected that I'm doing so much work without it. It feels like it has no more purpose. All right. One more. Why is this color so red? No matter. I'm going to go to a cream color after this. That's pretty much cream color and then a white color. Actually, I might skip and just go to the white color. As long as the white color is like an off-white color, this should work. Okay, so here we go. Way too much paint. Do you see that? That's like rookie error right there in dry brushing. Like way too much paint. I can see, yeah, you can even see it up in that top corner. You should not be putting that much paint down when you're dry brushing. And I'm going like barely touching the surface here, so you shouldn't. That was really bad. That's a particularly poor wipe off on the dry brush. Stuff looks so awesome. I love the aesthetic for Helldorado. It's so cool. Actually, I love so much about Helldorado. I just need to play it more. There's really no excuse. I've got lots of terrain, lots of models. I know the rules very well. You know, we're gonna play this. I hope we're gonna play this for a while. Obviously, Relic Knights will come back in because we're waiting on our Gen Con stuff. Once that comes in, we'll probably pick up where we left off with RK. Wow. And make sure you guys are seeing enough here. Pretty good. Okay. Really don't need to do a whole lot to make these look good. Woohoo, RK, yeah. Yeah, I love RK, still my favorite, but this one comes very close. And the fact that you could play a game of this and a game of RK in the same space of time it's going to take somebody to play, say, Infinity or Warmahordes, or, you know, maybe half a game, half of game of 40K, you could be finished with a game of this and RK and be much happier with your evening. That's, sorry, personal bias coming in right there. Coming in quite strong, in fact. So I'll knock it off. But dude, that's really what my opinion. Those are the best evenings for me, when I get to play a game of Helldorado and a game of RK. So if we could fit Anima Tactics and Wrath of Kings and all that stuff in there too, and Frostgrave, be awesome. But now I'm talking about 6 straight hours of gaming, and nobody wants to do that. But all right. Last wall. Okay. So here we go. So you're not trying to get it everywhere. In fact, as we continue to step up in color, we're going to go less and less surface. And then really from there, it's just going to be a matter of painting in these portals and stuff. Painting in these eyes. Essentially, I'm calling them eyes. They're like orbs, really. You can see how quick and dirty this dry brush is, though. Really just, bam, throw it down and go. Usually, this is like what my painting videos look like on, like, 16x. Greenleaf Terrain. Hey, what's up, man? Hope my Soda Pop pre-order comes in. Me too. Stuff has been in processing for like a month now. Okay, but that's it for that color. Let's step it up. And we're gonna go, I think we're gonna just go straight to the off-white color, right? So let's see. I got that color, which is pretty good. This color is quite good. That's really where I want to be. I'm going to pop that down here. It's going to have the previous color mixed in with it, so it's not going to be as big as a jump as you guys are looking at in terms of the brush here. I'm just going to mix it into one color that's, yeah, this does look quite a lot better. All right. You know, my issue is right now when I'm using an old t-shirt as my rag, like a lint-free t-shirt. But I'm wiping so much paint off of such a big brush that it's like soaking up the entire t-shirt. So I may need to go and change the t-shirt. Anyway, so here we go. Next layer. I'm going to focus that on the top skulls. So you can see, you're seeing it happen mostly up here on the top skulls. Uh-oh. Why my periscope froze? Maybe my periscope is probably receiving some kind of a notice or something. Maybe somebody's trying to call me on Periscope. There we go. Yeah, Periscope looks like it lagged there. Let's go again. Periscope is kind of crazy. It's just like you turn it on and at just random moments, and here's what's going on exactly at this moment. And people are like injected into your life all of a sudden. Okay, crazy. I almost turned Periscope on when I was at the OC Street Fair today. Been going to a lot of fairs. I don't know what that's all about. But all right. Okay. So the next layer, that's down. See, it's real exciting stuff, isn't it, Adam? I'm just dry brushing for 9 hours. That's how you do this. That's how you do terrain, right? You buy really expensive resin pieces and then you dry brush it. That's what you do. All right. Anyway, so I'm just going to come around the edges here. Just the edges. Doesn't need to be much more than that. There we go. Right? Just want it to look, and I can do this and not care. Like this part shouldn't even care how much of this is going down. There we go. And then this part. There we go. I'll actually do a little bit of this inner webbing here. Might as well. With this color, because it's light enough. It's light enough to do that inner webbing. That portal there. Tomorrow night, I might the D&D Player's Book. Okay. Getting pretty serious about some D&D, huh? Sounds cool. There you go. I know that my live feeds usually stick to pretty basic stuff, but man, this one takes the cake. Someone's gonna be like, "Yeah, I know you know how to dry brush. I know how to dry brush. Everybody knows how to dry brush." But that's all you're doing here. I want to explore more games. Yeah, well, it's one thing I do quite a bit. Now I tend to stay with miniature games, but I did pick up a set of Dice Masters. So I have a set of X-Men versus Avengers and Uncanny X-Men Dice Masters starter sets. And I want to play a little Dice Masters. I think that will be fun. Okay. I know, you guys, this is riveting stuff, isn't it? But yeah. Anyways, I really just turned this on so we could talk whatever you want to talk. Don't have a topic, don't have anything, just a camera and me and some really cool looking terrain. So this is a Games and Gears Hell terrain, which they allowed as an add-on for their oh man, hold on, I'm gonna have to reload. Oh no, it's still live. The comment section doesn't seem to be loading on the YouTube side, but it's fine. I don't think anyone's talking on the YouTube side. But yeah, this was an add-on for that Kickstarter that I wanted to go in on because it looked really cool. In hindsight, I should have ordered the steampunk set as well. But this is just I believe, in my opinion, this was the most beautiful of all the sets. Just absolutely gorgeous stuff. Oh, you closed YouTube. It's the fact that you're trying to watch a simulcast is pretty brave. Why would trying to watch two things that are the same thing? Just one is like 90 seconds behind the other one. Oh man. There we go. Got wires and stuff all over the place, just yanking at me. Is this okay? So let's do this one. So yeah, went in on this. This came in a few months ago actually, and I just been kind of sitting on it. And now with this Eldorado tournament tomorrow, I was like, hey, let's just break this stuff out, break it out and paint it. I don't know if I'm gonna bring it, but I wanted to paint it at least because I think it's cool. It looks really gorgeous, and I've applied like no actual paint job to this stuff yet. It's just dry brush. There you go. See that it looks gorgeous. Been a pretty busy weekend so far. Purchased a new car. Super happy about that. My new ride. But yeah, I'm just jumping all over the place. So this stuff came in on Kickstarter, and in fact, it didn't come in. Everyone, I got an email update saying, "Oh, hey, everybody should have their terrain that they ordered," and I was like, "Wait, I ordered terrain and never got it." I'll answer that. What car did you get? Yeah, I got a RAV4, Toyota RAV4. It's a I guess it's considered a mini SUV. It's a fun little sporty car. It's white, and I picked up a used one because my wife and I are saving. We're trying to save some money and boost our credit scores some. So we picked up a used car Not too. I mean, it's 2013. It's had really low miles, really good price. It's got a little bit of wear to it, but it overall looks really gorgeous. So, and it's going to do the trick. You know, I needed it. I needed a reliable car for more family. You know, for my son, to get him around more reliably. He's starting to grow out of my old little Celica, which I loved my Celica because that thing ran forever. And it will continue to run forever if whoever gets it next will take a little bit of care of it. You don't really have to do a whole lot. Just all right. So there we go. Okay. So we're almost done with the massive dry brushing parts. What's left is I'm going to do a little bit of airbrush work, and then there's just a little bit of detail, and then we're going to and that's it for painting the terrain. I'm going to reload YouTube comments just to make sure that there aren't any more comments flying by. There might have been, but no, still nothing new there, but that's okay. All right. This is like the worst live feed from a painting standpoint because all I'm doing is dry brushing. But, you know, this kind of inane work does allow me to ramble a little bit more. So let's do that. Let's ramble a little bit more. All right. So anyway, picked up a new car this weekend, which is super fun. And then my wife and I decided that we would go to the Oh, that is for painting terrain. Oh. Yeah, my wife and I decided that we would go to the OC Street Fair. And it was like, hey, because we had so much fun at the OC Japan Fair last weekend that it was like, hey, there's another fair. Let's go. Let's have some exotic foods, and let's film us eating stuff again. I still haven't uploaded the OC Japan Fair video. In fact, I finished editing it. It's about 10 minutes long, which kind of shocked me. I was kind of hoping for like a 5-minute video, but whatever. Again, it's just a fun video. If it gets like no views, I really don't care. It's just my wife and I running around and enjoying ourselves at the OC Fair. We tried out some kind of weird food there, and it was a blast. I mean, that was like, my wife remarked that it was one of the most fun days we've had in a long time, just running around the fair. And I think a lot of that just has to do with a lot of it just kind of has to do with the culture there, the Japanese, how cool and laid back the Japanese culture is. You know, when you go to the fair, and I'm going to get into this in a second because this is what we saw at the OC Fair today, the OC Street Fair. When you get into the fair folk, you know, for the most part, everybody's pretty cool. But then there's always that one or two you know, bros or dudes or whatever that have to push it too far. We call them chodes. That's what the terminology my wife and I use, chodes. So you get these like surly drunk guys at the fair all the time. You always get that, you know, just the guys that wanted to go to the fair, meet a girl, whatever, and you know, they're just thinking too hard, they're trying too hard, that whole thing. This is just my diatribe. You make it seem so simple. What the fuck have I been doing for 3 years? Dude, this is nowhere near the type of quality that you put out. And I know you're just messing around, but yeah, it's true. This is just how you do stuff when you need to get it on the table. And I'm taking advantage of the fact that the quality of these resin sculpts is really just phenomenal. I need a little more white. This isn't quite light enough for me. I need this to be, almost totally white. Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like my white is doing much here. I might have to break out the big guns. I might have to do Vallejo foundation white. In fact, let's do that. Let's really make this last highlight bright, bright, bright. Hey GLT, I missed it. I think Tori responded to you on Periscope, Adam. But Periscope's weird. Like if I look up and there's a comment on there, the comments only stay up for 7 seconds or so. Maybe not even that, more like 5 seconds. Here we go. Concentrated white in the form of Vallejo foundation white. There we go. Look at that. Foundation white make this stuff no joke. Now we're a lot lighter. Okay. That's the color I'm looking for. As my final highlight here. Woo. This paint is flying everywhere right now. This is pretty wild. All right. Oh no, the big guns. What's Periscope? Adam, Periscope it's a new app that's kind of like tied into Twitter that allows you to live stream on your mobile. So what I have right now is I have my regular streaming camera up, and then I've got Periscope on my mobile phone, and that's also live streaming to another app. So I'm actually simulcast right now. I see Tori just put in a comment and I totally missed it again. I saw it and I was like, look down. I guess that's just going to be one of the disadvantages to this. There you go. You can see those skulls really coming in now. I don't know what you said, Tori, but I promise you, if you type again, I'll catch it. See, there's Periscope is such a simple program. You can't go back and look at comments. I'm really trying to figure out, what use can Periscope have on the miniature hobby side of things, because it's a much more instantaneous, it's a much more live experience than YouTube is. Even I would say it's more live than, say, Twitch. Twitch is probably being, somewhere in between. Let's see. I am an app and I often Twitter. I don't compute. Twitter is a terrifying place. It really is. Twitter is a terrifying, terrifying place. And I kind of used Twitter's kind of like my it's like I'm like the housewife that's ashamed that she reads the National Enquirer or some shit like that. Like I'm at the line in the grocery store and you see that and I'm like, oh, I got to see what these idiots are arguing about on Twitter today. Oh man, yeah, stay off Twitter, man. But anyway, Periscope is like a way for the Twitter people to be like, hey, I'm doing this right now. And then you can watch it live. So people are on Periscope, there's 2 people watching me on Periscope. People on Periscope are watching me stream on YouTube, which is crazy. Crazy, crazy things. All right. Tori might be both of those people for all we know. I don't know. All right. All right, so here we go. But yeah, Periscope's weird. It's like people can find out all about you and your life if you Periscope enough of it. It's so easy to start. Like I could get up in the morning and be like, oh, here's me brushing my teeth, and that would show up on Periscope, and people would tune in and watch you brush your teeth. All right. At what do you mean? At everything at you and hashtag. Everything's a hashtag too. Don't forget that. Hashtags are important. Hashtags and tags is what I mean. If you look at some of the YouTube channels that got really big that don't really have content. I'm not necessarily talking about the miniature gaming YouTube community, but like there are people that know how to abuse tags on YouTube just to get 20,000 subs or whatever, right? Because they're just kind of gaming it for numbers. So there's people that know how to do that on YouTube based on just assigning tags on their videos. Like one of the things that I heard is like, oh yeah, even if you're, for example, let's just take miniature gaming, even though miniature gaming has there's just not a big enough community watching miniature gaming for these strategies to pay off too much. I mean, I'm sure that they'll net you some more subs, but like one of the things that people say is like, oh, you can tag, like let's say my video is about Helldorado terrain, but I would still put the tag Space Marine in, on the off chance that somebody that is looking for Space Marine stuff, which is a larger, more popular topic than Helldorado, they'll come across my video and click on it, and maybe they get tricked into watching my video, and then they become a sub, and then the number of views will, a high amount of views on a video might trick some bots into signing up for my channel, and then I've got a bunch of people, sub to my channel that were a group of people hoping to see Space Marines, and another group of people that are just sort of, not real accounts. But at the end of the day, I have my 50,000 subs or whatever, so I don't care. Stuff like that. That's what you get into. And I really don't care, honestly. I mean, I guess if that's your end game, you need the subs and you're going to do that, I guess. I can see, like, if you're running a legitimate, if you're running a business online, you gotta go the little extra mile to get more views and get your name out there. So I can kind of see that too. It's just not that important to me. Like, I hardly throw tags on my videos, and I know that's a huge mistake from the standpoint of, oh, it'd be great if I had more people watching or subbing. Space Marines, fuck yeah, America. Yeah, apparently, if you want more views, more subs, maybe you put kittens on there. I don't know, right? Aren't cat videos and like Let's Plays, right? Are like the most popular YouTube videos. So if you did something like that and you tagged your video that way, then maybe. I still feel like I need a little bit of white on here, but I don't know. I think it's okay. Yeah, I feel like I guess I don't want to do a pure white on here. Just want to get edges, and the color blend's looking pretty good though. It looks pretty good. Canvas, what's up, man? Where you been? Well, I know you've been posting creepy shit on Facebook, but you haven't been on YouTube, so. What's up, man? You want to watch me dry brush for like 2 hours? It'd be awesome. This is a great video. This is like top-notch painting content right now. Boy, I am in the esoteric, cutting-edge painting techniques. Hashtag no white, hashtag sub canvas. See, that's a stupid shit about like Twitter. You can make the stupidest crap trend. People think it's funny, or they want to be ironic or whatever. Then you get people arguing over it, over its political significance. I don't understand that. That's what I don't get. People like people that try to turn inane shit into like political discussions. Like, why? Okay, what relevance does me not applying a pure white as a dry brush? Like, what does that say about me as a person, or some shit like that? I hate that. I hate that so much. But anyway, all right. Dry brush is awesome. Anyone happen to know of any cute fox miniatures? That is a fantastic question. Try Impact. If you want to get like cutesy, cartoony miniatures, you can try Impact. The other thing is, you might look at, if you want to look at a specific miniature, the Terrybrook Mage for Super Dungeon Explorer is like a fox type miniature, which is really cool. But yeah, I would try Impact. I don't think Chronoscope has anything like that, but I don't know. Good question. Canvas, I fap to the beat of your dry brush. I bet you do, among other things. You got to mix it up, right? I mean, there we go. Look at that. Better get that fap on, Canvas. Get it. Okay. Now my shit is stupid. What the hell? This is what happens, man. Like, I was like, I thought I could just do this really boring shit and turn something on YouTube. I'm gonna blame this on you guys. I'm gonna turn this shit around. Here's me. I need more stuff to watch in my subs. I need more stuff to watch, it's like feast or famine. I'm gonna pick on like one of my favorite channels right now, Paul Alba, one of my favorite channels. He does fantastic stuff. David Nichols does fantastic stuff. But here's the thing about those guys. They're awesome, but like, you can go 2, 3, 4 weeks without seeing anything from these guys, and then they come back in and it's like 17 videos in a row. Especially David Nichols, man, because that dude, he's a prolific painter and he's a badass. Like, he paints some awesome historical shit. But you won't hear from that dude for weeks, and then he'll pop back in and it's like, bam, and then let me destroy your whole universe. You thought you were a good painter. Let me just put a stop to your stupidity right now. Let's see. Oh, you thought wrong. Darksword miniatures do some cool animal. Oh yeah, Darksword. That's right. What I'm saying is, we need more Canvas videos. See, Adam is doing his part. He puts up some awesome like showcase stuff, and he does updates. We're just picking on people. I don't know. It's late at night. What the hell? Okay. I think that's it. I think that's about enough dry brush fap for one evening. We're going to come in and we're going to try to legitimize this paint job with a little bit of lighting effect. I'm just going to have to figure out what that lighting effect shall be. There we go. Okay, good. Everyone's good? Okay, great. Let's move along here. I'm going to take a 5-second break here. Have a sip of Diet Coke. Got to have that aspartame, Yeah, so OC Street Fair was a bummer, dude. There just wasn't enough cool shit to eat. There wasn't enough weird stuff. It was like standard stuff. I went and I had I think the most exotic thing I had was some like deep fried donuts from Denmark, which, if you know Danish food, really isn't anything exotic. I mean, there are a lot of bread and butter and bacon and sugar. Anyway, so not that big a deal. Oh, here, you want to know the disgusting shit I'm eating right now? Takis. It's the zombie flavor. Habanero cucumber tortilla chips. The little zombie hand. Brr, brr. It's like 2,000% salt. Look at that. Creepy. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to paint in all this stuff, right? I guess I have to pick a color. Green, like fluo green, probably the coolest thing to do here. So let's pick some. So I'm going to probably take a color like that and use it, make an airbrush paint out of that. Oh, dude, I think I did, didn't I? I think I gave my fluo green to somebody else. Like lent it out like an idiot. That's not going to be good. Shit. Oh, that was really bad. That just fell into that mix of paint there. All right. I'm sure I got fluo. I've got another fluo green somewhere in here. Find it. This is probably not bad. That's not a bad start. Green ink. I got scorpion green. Yeah. I think I gave away my fluo green like an idiot. Oh, here we go. Livery green, that's good. I can make that work. Oh, man. How many scorpion greens do I have? Yep. And I even know the dude I gave it to. I'm like, hey, I never use fluo green. And that fool ran off with my fluo green because I told him to. How dare he listen to what I actually say? Son of a... All right. Let's just rock it. I know what we're going to do. Got a lot of green ink, too. Anyway. Let's just do the damn thing. Okay. So, I'll do this. And then I'll mix this into an airbrush worthy color and do that. How about that? Not asking for permission, but just saying. All right, here we go. Okay. Oh, I bet there's a stupid green in the Minotaur line that I could use. But I need this. This is going to be like a base coat. So that's going to come in as an undercoat, and that's going to help the rest of the lighting effect occur. Dude, what's Frostgrave like? Been seeing a fair bit of buzz on it, and apparently it's awesome. Frostgrave is, if you were to combine, say, Mordheim with Mordheim with maybe In Her Majesty's Name, and then throw in a little bit of the Infinity dice mechanic in there. That's what you'd get. You got a game that's going to last 30 to 45 minutes on average. It's a 10 model max. People love that. It's a open source miniature game, meaning who cares what you put on the board? Everybody's all over that. Plays on a 3x3. Lots of terrain. Very terrain intensive game. So just like Infinity, you don't want to have more than 12 inches line of sight down anywhere. And then the Mordheim part. Okay, so what you do is each player is controlling a warband led by a wizard. And you have a wizard, an apprentice, and then you have soldiers, which could be anything from, say, a knights to barbarians to thugs, and all that kind of stuff. And you basically play treasure hunt type games, and the goal is to level up your wizard. So your wizard collects experience, you gain gold, you gain magic items, you have a roster to maintain, similar to, say, Mordheim or Blood Bowl. I liken it to Blood Bowl because I love Blood Bowl. So yeah, that's really what it is. It's like, if you can imagine, well, I like to imagine if you've watched the beginning of Dragon Slayer. Do you remember that dope movie Dragon Slayer that nobody talks about anymore? But I'm sure hipsters will be all over it in like 3 years because some Hollywood asshole will figure out how to redo it. Oh, I'm going to redo it, and we're going to put Shia LaBeouf in it, or some garbage like that, right? See how much shit I talk? But anyway, if you remember the beginning of that movie, Dragon Slayer, I want to say it's 1982, 1983, this movie came out. And it's starring, what's his name? Peter McNichols, I think. Like the dude from Ghostbusters too, Milos. Curly-haired kid. But, okay, the beginning of that movie, he is the apprentice. The main character is the apprentice to the wizard, right? And the wizard has his own like war band. 1981. Thanks, Tori. And the wizard has his own war band, like warriors and stuff that protect him. And the wizard's like trying to learn new spells. He's like trying to find new powers. Now, Dragon Slayer, ultimately, what they're trying to do is defeat the dragon that suppressed the town. That whole thing. But that's Frostgrave, really. It's like you take a wizard, and like he's got a body of warriors around him, protecting him, helping him unlock the secrets of the universe and all that shit. That's Frostgrave, and it's badass, dude. It is badass. Oh yeah, Dragon Slayer is awesome. I loved Dragon Slayer. Loved Dragon Slayer. Went and saw that movie in the theater as a kid. Yes, that's how freaking old I am. And loved it. It was just great. Anyway, let's try this. Okay, that's what we want. Okay, so we're going to spray that in there. There we go. Oh yeah, it doesn't look like shit right now. I know. Just stay patient. It's gonna look good. Gosh, man. It'll look good, I promise. There. See? It's just, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Gotta remember, there is a right side up on these. But yeah, for sure, Frostgrave, awesome. I'm looking forward to playing more of it. It's going to be the repository for all these like cool miniature lines that I loved that no longer make games, like Anima Tactics. I'll use Eldorado miniatures for it. You can use Confrontation would be a cool one. You know, and it's like for people that really, if you really like what I've told, and I never actually played Mordheim, but I know a bit about it. What I'm told by Mordheim players is that all Mordheim players should really love that. We should love Frostgrave. So now I've got that creepy kind of glow going. Starting to wonder that wonder if Scorpion green is too green, you know? This is kind of dope as is. I don't know if I want to do much more beyond that. You know, obviously you got to hit the center with white to give it the lighting effect, but I think I will skip that the Scorpion green. I think this is doing the damn job. This is what I want. So yeah, if you haven't seen Dragon Slayer, it's a badass movie. Also, I put this on my YouTube the other night because you know, you can watch the full length on YouTube. Fire and Ice. You guys remember that cartoon? A Ralph Bakshi cartoon? I want to say this was 82, 83, right around that same time. Damn, 82, 83 was a pretty badass time to be a kid watching Dragon Slayer, watching Fire and Ice, playing with G.I. Joes and Transformers, and, you know, He-Man's going to be on the next year. That's right. I was a child in the 80s, and we had way better shit than you poor saps had. Way better. I just hope that my kid, like when he starts really getting into more playing with toys and shit, that there's good shit for him, you know? Hopefully it's not like politically correct Barbie, or, you know, or actually Barbie. I'm actually surprised how Barbie has withstood all her critics for how many years and years now, decades basically. But you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I hope he has cool shit to play with. If he doesn't, I'm just gonna make sure he does. Like I'll make sure he's playing with cool shit. You know? Fire and Ice, yeah, dude. Fire and Ice, great movie. Love that movie. That movies like that, you know, I worry like with all this recycling of, if you look at the movies in the last 10 years now, like they're almost all remakes. They're almost all like, oh, we just rehashed this. And you think about what came out at that point, the Ralph Bakshi movies. Do you guys remember Lord of the Rings animated? Lord of the Rings, the animated movie that was really Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers. Do you guys remember that? I'm not talking about the Hobbit cartoon because that was kind of meh. That was like clearly a children's cartoon, and The Hobbit's a children's book, so I understand that. And then they had Return of the King, which they went back to that style, and I was like, blah. They kind of blew that series. But I'm talking Lord of the Rings animated series where it was Ralph Bakshi. Now get this. This would offend the shit out of somebody these days. Consider that animated Lord of the Rings movie, when they went to the orcs, when they showed orcs, and this movie was laser traced animation, right? So what they do is they take a laser, they trace over footage of actual live action scenes, and then they animate over it. That was a style. That's what they did. You can see that in like Heavy Metal. What a badass cartoon that was. But yeah, you can see it in Heavy Metal. You can see it in Wizards. But here, Lord of the Rings, what they did for the orcs was they just went out and they laser traced Nazi footage and Zulu footage. Like, bear that in mind for a sec. Can you imagine how big of a controversy that would be these days? Like, how people would be so freaked out of their mind, they would call the movie racist. They would, say that Ralph Bakshi and his team are a bunch of fascists and they're glorifying Nazis and they're hating. Here's the mental here's the mental pretzel for you. Okay, so in this particular example, the live action Trace are both Nazis and Zulus. They're gonna say today, by today's logic, by today's outrage culture, they would say that, and it's the exact same thing, right? And it's even in the same movie, they would say, oh, tracing over the Zulus is denigrating to that culture. It is appropriation of that culture, and it's racist. You're degrading them by tracing over them. In the same breath, they would say, but tracing over Nazi stormtroopers is glorifying the Nazi, the Nazi regime. And so in the same breath, in the same movie, in the same treatment, today's outrage idiots would say that you're glorifying one culture and denigrating another one. I'm sorry if I got way too political right there, but I'm just think about that for a second. Or don't. I don't care. That's just wild. That's just wild. That's all I'm saying. I like both or neither personally, and I lean towards neither. You know, if that's what the footage that they want to use, and that's what they're going to go with, I am totally cool with that. Right? Last Starfighter. Okay, so some movies came by. Let's talk about. I remember Lord of the Rings 1978 film. Yeah. David Luff is saying Time Bandits, which I kept on DVD forever and ever and ever. Sadly, I don't have anymore. Love Time Bandits. Fantastic choice. I back in the day, I had a squat army that I painted like the Time Bandits. You had Ralph and Strutter and Wally and all those guys. Fidget. Remember that? Time Bandits was like seriously one of the greatest movies ever. I used to counsel kids when I was fresh out of college, which was basically you just kind of like babysitting these kids that they come from troubled homes or whatever, and I showed them Time Bandits. I'm like, here, watch a dope movie from when I was a kid. Let me show you guys how much cooler it was when I was a kid than when you guys were kids. And they're like, damn, that is cool. How offensive would Time Bandits be if it had come out today? Oh, man. See, okay, I'm sorry. I will let it go. We won't talk about that garbage. But anyway, all right. Time Bandits on Laserdisc. Hell yeah. You remember when the Laserdiscs were those big, giant, what are they? Those 11-inch or whatever? They look like an LP. Cost like $600 to have a Laserdisc player. Still have one of those. I still have one. I really do. I just got to throw it in the trash. Maybe I can sell it on eBay. Some like hipster, some kitschy guy. It's like, yeah. I am gonna sell my my Sega Genesis, which comes with this. I have the Sega CD, the first generation Sega CD attached to it. I am gonna sell that on eBay because on a whim I looked at it on eBay, and those things are selling for like $250, $300, man. Like $300 to throw to take my trash away. Go for it. Space Hunter, yes. You want to talk about a like crap sci-fi? Cherry 2000. How about that movie, man? Wow. Melanie Griffith. Cherry 2000. That was a. Well, I used to watch all kinds of just trash stuff like that. I'm sorry if you're like the biggest Cherry 2000 fan and you're like offended by me calling it trash. I'm sorry, because Hey, I like the movie. I ain't lying. All right, let's put it in. Now let's go in with white through the airbrush. I'm gonna have to use a Minotaur white. But yeah, you guys watched. So I think we're all in sort of agreement here that the 80s really had so much cooler sci-fi fantasy shit to watch. I really believe that, man. And I agree with Tori's earlier comment too that, you know, model making is so much cooler than CGI. It really is. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some really cool CGI, but it's typically the good CGI is integrated with live action or with modeling. The dude goes on a quest for a new fuckbot. Yes, that is yes. See, I knew that movie was. I knew Canvas was down with that movie. Look at that. Cool. I like it. I like it a lot. A little glow effect there. Dude, the 80s had the best horror in sci-fi. It really did. You guys remember Troll? How hilarious was that shit? Troll 2? Holy crap. The Gate. You guys watch The Gate? Those little midget buff guys that open up the gate for you. Now we're just throwing shit out. Let's just spitball. I don't care. Excalibur with 1981. Yep, the John Borman Excalibur with Liam Neeson and Patrick Stewart. Yes. Leon deGrance. I have a copy of that on DVD. And when I was single and didn't have shit to do, I would watch that 3 times a month. Because fucking love that movie so much. Thought it was so awesome. Love that movie. Tori knows what's that. Yeah, man. That's, dude. Remember how cool we thought Mordred's armor was? And then, you know, back in the day when Captain Tycho came out for GW, they made you know, the first Captain Tycho sculpt, and you're like, oh my god, it's Mordred. I thought that was so cool. Ooh. Sorry, YouTube. I knocked the camera around a little bit. Percival was the best character. Percival was hilarious because he just kept failing at shit. And then coming back and fixing it. The funniest part was when, you know, the end of the movie, I'm going to spoil it. When Arthur's dying, and he sends Percival to throw Excalibur back in the lake. Obviously, of course, Percival has to go back and do it twice. Just like the Grail. He had the Grail in his hand like twice. Love Percival, though. And I totally agree. He is the best character. Oh, these are looking sick now. See, it doesn't take much, man. Let's see. My parents used to own a VHS rental store before Blockbuster hit the nation. The store was called Videotron. Oh, that's a cool name. Nice name. Now there's a good movie. I love the original Tron. I'm going to put Corey on blast here for a sec. You guys know Corey from the show. Corey's a young guy. He's in his 20s. And Corey had his Cersei speed circuit painted up. And he went after a... oh, shoot. I totally forgot. Okay. Well, I got to... Damn it. I'm going to have to dry brush again. But Not a big deal. So he did his Cersei speed circuit like Tron, and he did it like the more recent Tron, whenever that movie came out a couple years ago or whatever. And I was like, oh, cool. What if you did the original Tron? And he was like, original Tron? It's like, oh, Corey. There we go. Nice. See, I'm going so fast, I'll be able to have some more of my zombie Dorito chips. Provided I could get a couple coats of sealer on these, I'll bring them tomorrow. Those are cool. I mean, these would make great. There are themed elements in Helldorado, like themed interactive terrain that you can play, and these would make fantastic bits of terrain like that. And just for the hell of it, let me just give a quick, let's lighten these up a little bit. So I got a little bit of white left in the chamber here. Just give them a quick. Sword and the Sorcerer, there you go. That sword was hilarious. It just fired off different, multiple blades. That was hilarious. Let's do a little bit of. That's probably too much, but I don't care. Put those away. All right. Here's what I forgot. See all these? See how far behind these are in the process? Let me catch them up a little bit. Still going to need to airbrush these, or dry brush these. So back to dry brushing, folks. Woohoo! I know it's exciting. I know you can't contain your excitement. The prospect of me dry brushing yet again. Okay, we got to talk more, but Krull. Yes, I said Krull. Krull was awesome because Liam Neeson was in it for one, and also, the main dude was just so 80s rock star looking. It was hilarious. He had like that permed hair, and he had like the tight striped pants on, like he was, lead singer of Winger or something. That shit was hilarious. But I did really like Krull quite a bit. And as much as I hate Tom Cruise, I'm gonna bust it out. Legend. I liked Legend. I know we're much further into the 80s. I moved us up a little bit, but Legend, I liked Legend a lot. You actually could have thrown anybody in that lead role. Yep, got to go in and dry brush. All right. Turn off my. There we go. So I got to dry brush these altars. Oh, you mentioned Krull. Sorry, man. Didn't see the. Trying to do a couple of things here, so I missed that. Okay, here we go. So we'll dry this off. Man, this stuff looks awesome, though. I won't lie, this stuff does look really badass, and I hardly did anything to it. It just looks great. So now I'm just getting the skulls around this altar. And I'll hit the middle. Oh, that's nice. It needs a little more, couple more colors to it. Probably just white. Probably just come back and dry brush it white. It looks fantastic. Yeah, I like this a bit. I like this quite a lot. I could even like paint in some of these, the veins, how they're attaching. I could paint those in with hit a little red on there. Look great. It's going to be good enough for tomorrow. But because this is resin, I really have to seal it. I have to ultra seal this stuff. Dune 1984, nice. Enemy Mind, yes. Enemy Mine, sorry, not Enemy Mind. I hate it when people say that, and I just said it. Didn't know that Ridley Scott directed Legend. Me either. You know what I really liked about Legend? The bad guy looked really cool. And of course, Mia Sara. Like, if you were alive in the 80s, how were you not fapping it to Mia Sara? For real. Ferris Bueller? Time Cop? Come on, Mia Sara. I was all about that. Anyway, see what happens? You just get a bonus stream, and it's like way more offensive than our regular show. But who cares? You can hear my cat crying. It's like, cat's like, knock that shit off. Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, just needs a white dry brush, and we're gone. And no, I'm not being racist. That's the, get it? I don't know. It's late at night. I'm eating zombie Doritos and not giving, as Canvas would put it, 0 fucks to give at this point. All right. So now let us do our white dry brush, like our actual white dry brush. Do I have a container for the white paint that I need to use? I guess that'll do. Cannonball Run. I do like the movie, Tori, but somehow I don't know where to rule that in for this particular conversation. Yes, I don't know that qualifies as fiction or fantasy, or science fiction or fantasy, I should say. Absolutely fiction, but Cannonball Run. I remember. You remember those crazy? They do those crazy like sweepstakes movies like that. That Cannonball Run was a formula trope in the 80s, right? They always did those movies where it's like, let's do this race, or let's do this scavenger hunt. There's this millionaire trillionaire dude that died, and he couldn't wait to test all of the people he knew in life to some weird contest where he's promising, wealth and fame and fortune at the end of it. Brewster's Millions is one of those. Do you remember the whole like Richard Pryor era when he was doing all the movies? The Toy. Dude, we're like off on a tangent. We got to go back to fantasy. But yeah. Ultimately, I don't care. You guys are just doing me a favor by watching me dry brush shit. The 80s had a horror movie called House. It was too cool. You remember those crap movies like Don't Go in the House, Don't Go in the Woods, Don't Get in the Car, Don't Shit in Your Pants? Like, do you remember those horror movies? Those are awesome. I loved those too. The summer camp movies. Now, Tori, you worked in a video shop. You might know the summer camp movies. They did like they must have done like 12 or 13 of those movies, where every movie they killed every single person in that movie a different way. Like I remember watching one where the killer, it's basically like your slasher type movie, where the killer used a car battery to kill one of his victims, and that was like it's like he electrocuted the person with him, and I think he poured the battery acid down the guy's throat, and I'm like, wow, that was somebody was thinking for that one. Like that was they were really reaching out to get that shock effect there. Just about done with the terrain. I was gonna paint a Eldorado Mini tonight, but it's just late. I want to eat my Doritos. I might build it in front of you guys. Maybe we'll build it. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm still kind of awake. I should upload the. Actually, what I should do is close this stream here, and then upload the OC Japan Fair stuff, and you guys can watch me and my wife and my kid eating weird shit and drinking sake and all that good stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys want me to build something, or do you want to see the OC Japan Fair video? Entirely up to you. Oh. I'm going to give this another dry brush layer. The Gods Must Be Crazy. Oh, I loved that movie. I loved that movie. Why were the movies like so much better? They really were. They were so much more inventive. These days, movies are more about like effects and star power and, shock value. But they had, in the 80s, they had some really stupid movies, but then they had some really good movies. But the point is, they used different. The writers went out and they did different things. They didn't. Not everybody did the same crap. See, this is like old man complaining now. I'm just like old man crying about shit. Anyway, here we go. Finish that. This stuff looks pretty awesome, dude. Pretty good. All right. I'm gonna clean off the brush. Sake. Yeah. Sake tasting at the OC Japan Fair. I got one of those traditional sake drinking cups, which are just boxes. It's just a wooden box that you drink sake out of. I'm like, this is pretty cool. This could be like a personal dice tray for me. It could just be a one-player dice tray. The other player is not allowed to roll in that tray because I got to drink sake out of that tray later. All right, so put this away. I want to show you guys. Let's look at a built one. Let's put one together. I think these are awesome now. So really, there's really only two types of pieces. There's this. These barricades, which frankly, they're not great. This isn't really anything to write home about. It's just whatever. That's okay. That it is what it is, right? And then you get this, then you get these alters. Again, it is what it is. I suppose I could paint, you know, I could do the lighting effects in the eyes of this skull that's kind of engraved in here, but not really. Let's put these away. Those are the boring ones. And let me show you guys what the portals look like, because the portals are the coolest ones. So again, they come in 3 pieces. So it's like that in here. So it's really like the corner. You know, it's just like a standing corner of a temple. It's weird that it's cut exactly square. You would think they would want it to be a ruined temple, but there's the face there, skull face, and then here's the portal. And yeah, so I got 4 of those. They're really cool. Let's see. I'm gonna read the rest of your comments here. Popeye, Robin Williams. Yeah, Popeye was dope. I loved that movie. Shelley Duvall, or not Shelley Duvall. Who was that? Who was the olive oil? Was it Shelley Duvall? I forget the name of that actress. She was in The Shining. She scared the shit out of me. I was terrified of her. Her and Sissy Spacek. Yeah, Sissy Spacek. Yeah, I know Carrie and all that, but Carrie was, to me, Carrie was more terrifying before she had the blood all over her. There's something about the way these chicks look that scared the crap out of me. Just terrified of them. And then they did a movie together, those two. Whoa, that was just horrifying. I was just traumatized by that. Just terrified by it. But yeah. Movies usually fail when poor storyline, no amount of special effects will save it. Speaking of like bad movies, or supposedly bad movies, I haven't been to the movie theaters in like 2 years. Welcome to Parenthood. I'm sure I'll be able to go when my boy's a little bit older. But I was going to ask you guys, what did you guys think of the new Fantastic Four movie? Because apparently everyone hates it. It's garbage. I haven't heard anything good about it. Any of you guys watch it or have any comments? Curious to know. Okay, and then Tori breaks out the big guns. Big Trouble in Little China. Yep. Like, no one argues that. No one argues that. If you guys don't like Big Trouble in Little China, go ahead and unsub right now. Seriously. Just unsub. All right. So I'm going to put these together. I'll take a little picture, I guess, and post it on the Facebooks, so you guys can see what these look like. No comments on FF4, the new FF4. It just, I saw the previews for it, and I saw like some special effects shots or whatever, and like the voiceover guy trying to sound extra cool, but it didn't strike me as a, I don't know, just I saw it and I'm like, okay, I'm not terribly excited about this. And apparently the same goes for the people that actually watched the movie. So they thought it was terrible. How is this not working? Did I do this wrong? Okay. There's absolutely an edge that goes in there. All right. Monster Squad, SF4, waiting for it on Netflix. That's probably a wise choice considering all the online reviews I've heard are just like, oh yeah, the actors were good, but man, that story was horrible, and they just did when you put it all together, it just didn't work. And I don't have an opinion because I didn't watch it, but anyway. I gotta say, the quality of the resin that they used in this terrain is phenomenally good. I don't like Games and Gears. I'll be honest with you. I had a bad experience with this Kickstarter, but the fact that I've now dropped these pieces like 3 or 4 times and they bounce and then they get back up and they're still intact speaks volumes to me. I don't like Games and Gears, but I just might have to go get more terrain from them. It's really heavy though. This type of terrain might be just stuff that I leave at home. But it looks great. It looks awesome. I don't remember how much money I paid for this stuff. But it does look awesome. This was during the time when I was like, when Cypher was, it looked like Cypher was getting ready to pick up some steam and really shake it up in terms of the, for the miniature gaming community out there. And I kind of wanted to be front and center there, and I wanted to buy these products because, Kai Nesbitt, the owner of Cypher, was like, yeah, I'm working with Games and Gears, and we're doing these Anima boards. So I backed the Anima boards, and then I saw this terrain. I think I'm going to have to turn the camera here. There we go. So you guys, precarious position here. Well, yeah, there you go, man. For the YouTube guys, let's zoom through it. Yeah, that looks dope. It's great for like Frostgrave, Eldorado, even Anima. Perfect. This is like perfect terrain for Eldorado. It's just so good. Howard the Duck. Can I admit that I thought Leah Thompson was hot? I don't care. I don't care what you guys have to say. Thought she was hot back in the day. Back in the day, man. All right. Okay, so anyways, I think we're at about time. But yeah, that was a lot of fun watching me just do a bunch of garbage that wasn't much painting. It was real quick and dirty, but that should actually be a testament to how sick these pieces look. They're that well. You can see the level of detail on them is fantastic. Here, let's put Lebowski on it. Put Lebowski just for scale. You can see him on there. Hey, what's up? Oh, hold on 1 sec. Oh, it's okay. Oh, go to bed, sweetie. Oh, thanks. What do you think of Howard the Duck? Do you remember watching that movie?
It was the most horrible movie I've ever
seen. You know, like Howard the Duck. Okay.
I'm listening to your show, by the way.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, no, the worst movie from the 80s was
Yeah.
Howard the Duck.
Really? Oh, wait, okay. Here's a couple more. The Golden Child was dope. We should make a Frostgrave with the Golden Child if I can find like an Eddie Murphy. Remember? Yeah.
Was the worst?
No. We're just throwing out like
what's
dope
the one that everyone hates?
from the 80s.
What do people
I can't even name a movie I didn't like from the 80s other than maybe Ordinary People. I freaking hated that.
Okay.
Ishtar. Ishtar is one of the most hated movies of all time.
Right, but you're not even talking about like really great movies from the 80s. Like,
well, Ishtar was supposed to be like big star
Weird
power.
Science.
Oh no, he just put it in right there. Weird Science.
Pretty in Pink. Well, Pretty in Pink is kind of a bad.
We're talking like
I know.
we're talking mostly sci-fi fantasy. We did derail a little bit, but mostly sci-fi fantasy.
Which one you
There's a lot we missed, but yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So,
All right. Thanks. Good night, sweetie. What do you think? Oh. Good night, sweetie. The kid who played the Golden Child was a girl. Yes, this is true. Put Walter on the other building here. Yeah. So where was I? We were talking about the other day. Like you could make a Frostgrave. You can make a Frostgrave warband with the Golden Child as the wizard and Eddie Murphy as the apprentice. Or you could do what's his name? What was his name? What was Charles Dance's character name in there? Something Yarrow, right? Chandler Yarrow or whatever. That would be hilarious. Blade Runner, yes. Love Blade Runner. Love Blade Runner. Wasn't too hot on that director's cut, but really liked Blade Runner. I mean, if you look at like sci-fi, anime sci-fi, like dark future anime sci-fi, that is all basically influenced by Blade Runner. I mean, all the like Akira, that whole universe. Wait, what's up?
Sorry, I have to say something on your show.
What? Say it.
Okay. The best movie from the 80s was Weird Science, and it was fantasy and science. And
yeah, and it is fantasy and science fiction, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Well,
he's like, what, do you get a free toaster with this thing?
Cat just jumped in.
I'll take care of the cat.
All right, thanks, sweet. It did.
Just saying,
and it had
the best movie.
It actually
had Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, a good cast.
It wins. Chet was a piece of shit at the end. I win.
It had Bill Paxton. Yeah, think about that. It had Bill Paxton. It had Anthony Michael Hall. I don't know. I'm with you. Yeah.
They created a woman, and it was Kelly. What was her name?
Kelly LeBrock. Yeah.
See?
Okay, but see if she'd actually, well, by today's standards though, that's considered rape. It's like statute. No, I know. I have to ruin everything. I have to ruin everything with modern PC. But yeah.
Okay.
They're like, oh.
Modern PC aside, if you go back to the 80s,
yeah.
that was the ultimate nerd fantasy.
It is the
best movie ever.
You make Kelly.
Anthony Michael Hall had all these lines. It was so good.
It really is a great. I mean, it did.
You go to Gary's.
Yeah.
Do I look like I'm in high school?
Yeah.
No. See?
Okay.
Yay.
Yay. Good night. No one. Sardam Numspa was his name. The Saudi Numspa. Okay. No one remembers who played Wyatt. Yeah, that weird kid. Dark Crystal. Good thing. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's late at night. I think we're gonna go to bed now. But yep. Want to thank everybody for watching. I guess I'll take a few photos of this and post it up somewhere. And if I can, assuming I can actually get this to seal, I'm going to have to do like a satin or a gloss coat and then a flat coat. So 2 coats of sealer to make sure this all works. Then I should bring it tomorrow for the El Dorado tournament. But it looks fantastic. It looks awesome. This is great stuff. And again, you guys saw me painting it. I really didn't do shit to these. They just look great. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.